Okay, let's get these big shapes in first. Analysing triangles, rectangles, circular shapes. Where's the light coming from? Where is it going to? So it is coming from my left and the shadows are going to the right. And I think with this scene, I saw it as we were driving along and I thought, oh, look at that great car shadow onto the building onto the right. For me, that was quite often with painting, I find you want a little hook, something interesting, something exciting, even just to get yourself really engaged with it and interested in painting it. Because I do feel if you don't love what you paint and paint what you love, you'll only end up doing sort of half-hearted attempts. So this was a beaut little scene. We did have to wait for the light to come out, and you don't really realise when you're about to how shadowy, how many shadows there are until you're about to put the drone up. That's when all the shadows seem to come and want to be in front of the sun. So patience is the key. So I'm just getting those big areas in, but we got the shot, we got the angle, so I was really thrilled. So it just shows persistence in every way, looking and getting that subject is also a bit of a battle as well. So just refining some of those areas. That initial underpainting was had a little too much alizarin. So now I've just brought in that French Ultra Blue, a little bit of the Cad Orange. That should do the trick now, just dropping in those little lights. It's amazing how it can really increase the tension by putting those lights in those focal areas on the orange brick. So we can't ignore the background though. Got to make sure we get those, the attitude of the shapes, the basic design of those buildings in the distance. It had been quite a few years since I'd been to Maryborough, and that was for a teaching assignment, and lots of times you just arrive in the afternoon, work 4 or 5 days, and then drive out. So I didn't really get to see as much as I did even just in one afternoon. I got to see so much more. Hi, hope you're enjoying the video. If you want more in-depth tutorials, I release exclusive videos to my Patreon each month. Paint with confidence. Click on the link to sign up today. So just bringing that smaller brush just to refine some of those shapes. Because even though I might be getting the sunlight effect, I still have to make sure that I'm getting depth into those shadows, and that's what those darker doorway window shapes will do for me. Or that's what they're designed to do. So yeah, just working on that car shadow. One of the tricky parts is with wet paint is getting softer edges. A lot of times it's more, I only get the one go at it, so you don't get the chance to soften things off as much. And I'm finding when I rework a painting, that's when I get the right nuance, when I need to get those subtle edges. So now we're bringing in the grass, cad yellow, phthalo green, sometimes a little bit of cadmium red, but plenty of white. Wherever I see light, there's got to be plenty of white. So just getting those big sunlit shapes in. I think with buildings, there's so many great sort of shapes going on and edges, and so they are a real pleasure to paint. And it doesn't hurt to actually push your primary shape, your main shape of your painting to as far as you can, because I do know that once I put the sky in and get the background foliage, it just gives me a whole nother dimension. But without it, it's really pushing me to get depth in this first, the foreground and midground area. And you can see with the white pillars, that just creates another nice dimension of depth. So now we can just bring in that smaller brush, just going around, refining shapes, putting some of those smaller windows in. I'm not sure what you call those little bits of white on the uprights. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's part decoration, but part reinforcing of the vertical shape. So now we can start to get in that background. I've pretty well got the foreground going in the right way. So now it's a matter of, well, looks like I'm going to just refine. There we go. I knew it was coming soon. So I tend to use more the yellow ochre in the background with a bit of alizarin, ultra blue, and sometimes a little bit of white just to get the foliage that right value. But it's using those greyer yellows and reds to create that effect of distance with the foliage. So still waiting a little longer to get that sky in. But it doesn't hurt to be patient, because it is a super important value as well, because it's going to really give us an idea of how strong the light is, how many shadows are about. It's one of the real true reflections on the overall strength of light or the mood to the painting. So I just put a few little clouds in the sky, and so once I've got that background in, then I can start to really truly assess how it's going. And there was a lovely long cast shadow from a power pole in the foreground there. So this is where I'm dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's. Normally when I get to this stage, the painting is pretty well under control. But definitely make sure you're stepping back, because it is so easy. And one of the most common things at this stage is to overdo it, overwork it, try and put too much in, try and say too much. But it doesn't hurt to put a few little cars in there. That'll sort of give the painting a good sense of scale and size. So I've managed to sort of crop a lot of the extra cars on the bottom left hand out on purpose. So just refining, getting some of those shadows in. So I'm pretty pleased with how that one's come out.